Today is April 30th, 2023. A lot of people scattered. The tape of where they did all this to make Michelle happy. They raped me, they beat me, made her happy. They sold videos of it. Made her happy, they got money out of it. They had already killed my other co-workers, family member, same gang. Made her happy. They went on to kill my house manager's niece. Made Michelle happy. She got money out of selling people into slavery or murdered. The little kid at the ATM in Canton, or the 15-year-old kid, or all the other ones they grabbed, because they get money out of it. But it makes Michelle happy. They obtained and sold kitty porn of my grandkids in the bathroom, but it makes Michelle happy. They bashed my skull in and beat me under drugs and raped me, and it was her brother that did it, but it makes her happy hurting people. Sociopath. They can't feel. Or a psychopath, psychopath. They cannot feel remorse. They don't know right from wrong. They don't have sympathy or empathy. They just feel happiness, joy, and excitement. And to hurt people, it makes them happy. I'm friends with a retired sheriff. He said she's got daddy issues. I thought gold digger. He says that too. But her dad had to molested her and raped her for her to be this evil. Well, since it came out on April 16th of 2023, when I went after I left my daughter-in-law Jen's mom's memorial, that Danny was telling Shay and them that he called his dad, and where that Eric got high and confessed. They drugged that man up and framed him. You do realize that for all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people to turn on her. They framed that man. They drugged him up and told him to come in and say it. Because Danny said, I called my dad. He said it was him. He had some guy named Pete up there taping her before. And he was the one doing it. Retired Judge Pete. He can't hire a hitman to frame me and stalk me in my own home. The Fourth Amendment over the house. You have a right to be safe and secure in your own home. Dave cannot hire retired Judge Pete to kick in my door, set up button cameras. They're not admissible. They're done by the man that had tried to have me killed 4 times before that. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. There's nothing else. It's entrapment. Nixon couldn't buck an office. His president got impeached. It's a legal search and seizure. They get 2 to 20 years. If it's a cop or an agent. See, nobody can be in your home. You have a right to be safe and secure. You also have a right to remain quiet, and a right to an attorney, and a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. They cannot be in your home except for protected life cases with statements. It's entrapment. Everybody knows that. We live in the United States of America. Nothing they have is admissible. And these people, because they were in with a drug cartel, they're running around. They photoshopped a shower scene. March 2nd to the 3rd, 21. They're going to put clips together, put me in a porn. It wasn't me, it was them. Then what you're describing as showering? Ha ha ha, she figured out what they did. May 12th, 22. We found a tape of them admitting a shower scene in the other room, then edited the local apartment. The guy at the Hunger Task Force, everything was drugged and photoshopped. The client's neighbor on Shepherd Road told him retired Judge Pete photoshopped and date rape drugged everything and made everything up on me. They've hired him to frame me. How would they like to move into a brand new house and by the second week have bruises they can't explain, so dizzy, their heart is racing, out of breath, don't know what's wrong with them, try to mow the lawn, and almost pass out in the yard? And I got bruises I can't explain. And everybody's seen them. And here they're roofing me, date rape drugging me, so I'm sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours, turning me into a human zombie. And here, then my private area gets infected, and here they're raping me. That retired judge is a serial rapist. People in Louisville were calling him a sick bastard. Do you know, people, I woke up one time, my leg was bleeding onto the bed. And it was white as a cigarette. I called Dave. And he said, well, maybe I got your toenail. That would have been a scratch, not a cut. It's scarred. I have a white line down my leg. They cut me under drugs, and I don't remember it. They're amnesia drugs. That's why there's 300 of them that cause amnesia, and you're sleepwalking. That's how not funny this is. Last night, some guy walked by my apartment. I listened to the tape of her calling that agent. She did try to tell him all those things, where I tried to tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me. He was the Detroit Boys' kidnapper that went on killing down here. He had tried to kidnap me in front of Terry, tried to carjack me, bragged to Dixie. He knew what was happening, and he took off. His main subject of attempt to break in told the police in Perry that they knew where the security system was, and I was followed and rounded by one of the church people's Facebook friends. See, there was a hit on my life, and I didn't know it, and it was Dave. So where Danny said, I called Dad, asked him what's going on, he said he had some guy named Pete up there taping her before. It was him doing it to her alone. Retired Judge Pete. They framed Eric. Got him high and told him to come in and confess. He may be in jail. They need to let him go. Dave confessed to either April 15th or 16th of 23. His phone's tapped from the case. And they have his confession that it was him with some guy named Pete on his own framing me. He cannot hire a stalker. Nothing he has admissible. It's a severe Fourth Amendment violation. They're supposed to have drugged me and told me to say weirdo stuff. They bragged that from May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. at Wendy's in Louisville. And the Saturday after that, Dave was manipulating several girls up there and their families to help out because they're gold diggers to get my house and my jewelry. That he would go out with them. Fat, heavy-set blonde girl came down and yelled at the goons from Ravenna. She had told her and her family said Dave was dating her too. And and she yelled at him, "Are you crazy? You can't enter drug confession." Said, "Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before." That was 21. And then there's an African American lady, November 2nd or 3rd, 21, in Save-A-Lot. She found out they made everything up. And it was all them and not me. Don't say anything. Then edit the Oakland apartment. The guy who hung our task force, the neighbor to my client on Shopwell Church Road, that Judge Pete photoshopped and date rape, drugged everything, and made everything up on me. It was all them and not me. And those stalking tapes, they can't even look at them by law. There's nothing entered against me. I have never stood in front of a sitting judge for anything to be entered. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing, and I've never been prosecuted. They lied to all these people. To manipulate them, to make Michelle happy. May 12th, 22, they found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. And May 26th, 22, the shower scene was done on purpose. January 19, 22, they told the Department of Disability I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, fiasco day. Some Latino guy admitted he personally drugged me first and told me to say it. People ran and Save-A-Lot out of their houses on 6th Street. These people hacked into the protected custody case and sold it by Thanksgiving of 18. And it went viral there for a while. But yeah, some guy walked by my apartment last night. I found the tape of her trying to tell that agent all that stuff. He wouldn't listen to her. Where I tried to tell him some guy was telling on me at the church the night before. I tried to tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He wouldn't have it. Screaming at me like a banshee. Department of Justice 1729, you have to take a victim or witness or informant statement, if you believe them or not, or follow through. Because Dave told Danny that it was, he had hired some guy named Pete to take me out and stalk me. He hired a stalker, a hitman, to frame me. He admitted to it. After 4 years, he admitted it was him. Where they thought the churches hired stalkers, the Steve and Eric, it was Dave. He confessed after 4 years that he hired some guy named Pete to take me unaware and do all those things to me. He was drugging me, beating me, and had me raped. And human trafficked me. He's not my pimp. He's not my pimp. And that some agent had went up to that church. He seen him and was asking threats on her life. And he said he was looking into it on his own. Now, either Will is extremely corrupt and was in it with Pete, because he couldn't have known that Dave hired Pete on his own and not arrest him for hiring a stalker and then Pete for stalking. You can't look at stalking tapes, especially when they're the ones threatening to kill the person. And let alone, they played with those tapes. The nurse at Mercy Medical, March 13/21, the only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. The guy said, that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. She just simply wiped off some water or clothes on. A simple action of brushing something off. She wasn't the only one that had that. Ladies group came down in January 22. We came down to verify. She's never said she did anything wrong before. And I had marks, hand marks, cuts, bruises everywhere, as big as oranges. Lemons, grapefruit. I was treated for being dizzy, short of breath, headaches, and a personal infection all summer long. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. When I told the nurse that they had been my ex-husband had somebody stalking me, kicked in our door, and they're supposed to Photoshop shower scenes, and I said where I had all those bruises and I was throwing up and dizzy and headaches, and she's like, yeah, you were treated for that. I said, and personal infections. She's like, yes, all summer long. I said they were supposed to be roofing me, day rape, drugging me, telling me to say weirdo, and they're supposed to Photoshop a shower scene. And I said, the sick SOB kept even touching me. She scrawled up her face. She said, I'm so glad you got away from him. Because when they go to that extreme, you usually don't get away from him alive. And she said, he's a sick, vile animal. Yeah. And retired Judge Pete did this because it makes Michelle happy. They sex traffic videos of me and Dave in bed. That's a federal crime. They admitted they'd put a shower scene in the other room. They were letting people watch me in the toilet in the shower. That means they obtained and dispensed kiddie porn of my grandkids using the bathroom. But it made Michelle happy. People have been taken and sold into sex slavery, and they're part of that big human trafficking group, but it makes Michelle happy to get money out of it. So where on earth? See, if that agent, even if he had a question, his job was to follow through. See, that's where the Canton police will tell you, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. See, people actually did their damn jobs. They tell everybody she wasn't lying. Because all you have to do, even Dave admitted he's seen that guy up there saying he was FBI telling on me. I didn't call the agent back. Huh? And they already know about that being the Detroit Boys' kidnapper. And they know what he looks like. He went on killing people down here because of that agent. It's his responsibility. And it falls on them. Because if you had even a question, can you hold? Call the Apostolic Church of Birmingham. Yeah, somebody was here. Call Huntington Bank. Was there a lady there saying she got paid to watch her walk off with a tall white guy with black hair? I want that tape. She said he threatened to knife her and she got away from him. Tell you what, you probably could see the fear on my face because I couldn't move. Once I got in front of somebody, I was too scared to. I was afraid they'd shoot me or stab me. And there's cameras all along the front of Giant Eagle. Was there a camera above that bench? I don't know. You don't know if there's a camera. You either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. You can't do that. Department of Justice, 1729. You have to take a victim or a witness or an informant statement if you believe it or not, and follow through, or it's obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, and tampering with witnesses. It's 5 to 20 years what he did. They actually automatically lose their badge and go to jail. He could have been the biggest hero, some cult's friend, some girl's, a woman's life, and they got into it with a big human trafficking drug cartel. He could have took down at least 200 of them the first month. And he would have been on every news as this big hero. Didn't look like it was going to be that big a case, and it blew up to be huge. Yeah, I told you. That's how far their tapes are altered, where they said they put clips together, drugged, and told me to say stuff. People didn't even have it. They had to Photoshop everything back in. They had to write in my home. It's a severe Fourth Amendment violation. The FBI and police know they can't look at it. Officer Reinhardt Louisville. Even the FBI can't be in your home outside of protected black case with statements. It's illegal. I told the Portage County Sheriffs it was none of our officers in your home, nor did we have any knowledge. What these people are saying they did is illegal. I said, you can't look or listen. It's the Fourth Amendment. Da 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 da. Yes. So what they did is illegal, and they can't even look at it. And it's all crap. Because you can't say the only thing they had on was just wiping some water off with clothes on. Simple action of brushing something off. And then say a shower scene. And then turn around and say, well, they drugged her and told her, say this or that or that. I've had people come up and say, they told you say this. They told you say that. I never talked to anybody. How would you like to have bruises and get sick on drinks or wake up with marks that look like injection marks? That's not funny doing that to a human being. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. Like they said, they gave her amnesia drugs, told her to say stuff, and they want her to confess to it. That's stupid. I gotta upload this.